Hello friends, let us now learn some important points about oligohydramnios. Okay, so if you see oligohydramnios, what is the most common cause of oligohydramnios? It is idiopathic. Okay, what is the most common cause of, right, this is important. If you were asked what is the most common cause of mild oligohydramnios, if it is mild oligohydramnios, then it is idiopathic. If you were asked what is the most common cause of severe oligohydramnios, then now the answer changes. It is congenital malformations. So in the congenital malformations, actually it is renal anomalies are the most common cause of severe oligohydramnios. Then what are the other causes of oligohydramnios? If you see, other causes of oligohydramnios include drugs like indomethacin. These include drugs like indomethacin, ACE inhibitors, intrauterine growth retardation, which shows the brain sparing effect is seen. Okay, and here you will see presence of leaking following amniocentesis. You will also see leak following amniocentesis. And then if you see maternal pregnancy induced hypertension, which will decrease the blood flow to fetus. This will decrease the blood flow to fetus. This will also decrease the fetal renal blood flow, which will also decrease the glomerular filtration rate, thus causing oligohydramnios. Okay, then this can also occur due to, obviously because of premature rupture of membranes, the fluid can go out and thus causing oligohydramnios. Then oligohydramnios is also caused by postpartum pregnancy. It is also seen in postpartum pregnancy. It is seen in amnion nodosum. It is seen in chromosomal abnormalities, especially it is seen in trisomy 13 and triploidy. Okay, it is also seen in renal anomalies. So these are the important points. Then let us now learn about the effect of oligohydramnios. If you see effect of oligohydramnios, so here in oligohydramnios definitely there is less space. So as a result, the fetal parts have to grow properly. The most common problem which you see in oligohydramnios is pulmonary hypoplasia. Then there can occur also amniotic band sequence can also occur. What is amniotic band sequence? Here there is less amniotic fluid will be seen. In amniotic band sequence there is less amniotic fluid, and as a result the amnion will band the fetus, has a band-like structure around the body of the fetus, and thus it will result in limb amputation disorders followed by craniofacial defects are seen. What happens if oligohydramnios occur in late pregnancy? If oligohydramnios occur in late pregnancy, already organogenesis will be complete. In this condition, already organogenesis is complete. But here there is less space. Okay, because of this less space, cord gets compressed. Because of cord getting compressed, the blood supply will decrease. Okay, now this will result in fetal distress, which is seen in meconium in amniotic fluid. So because of fetal distress, you will see meconium in amniotic fluid, and this is called as, this will result in formation of meconium aspiration syndrome. Now next, because of this you will also see presence of some congenital malformations, like you will see presence of congenital talipes equinovarus. You will see presence of congenital talipes equinovarus, which is a compression defect. Okay, now if there is, what is the timing of delivery, which is important. Timing of delivery in oligohydramnios, that is idiopathic oligohydramnios, if you see, the timing of delivery in idiopathic oligohydramnios is 37 to 38 weeks plus or minus 6 days. So it is 37 to 38 weeks plus or minus 6 days. Now, how are you going to treat the oligohydramnios? Treatment, if you see, first you should do, you should give amnio infusion, should be given with normal saline. Okay, so this is about oligohydramnios. Thank you for watching.